Hello, I'm Ollie. This is Criminally, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today it's Tuesday, so guess what? I'm doing a tag. This is quite an old tag in booktube terms, at least. It was originally created about 6 months ago by the fantastic Shelley Swearingen. I was looking through some old tag videos and found these ones and was very amused by them. So I thought I would do my own version of this tag. So I wasn't on booktube when this tag was originally doing the round, so I missed out on the fun back then. But it's quite an entertaining one, so I thought I would do it. It is, if you haven't guessed already, the Are You Like Jane Austen tag. So there are 10 questions about aspects of Jane Austen's character and life, and you get points for each question in kind of BuzzFeed style, which then tells you how like Jane Austen you are. I should probably start by saying I've never read Jane Austen. I probably should, shouldn't I? So right, let me go through the questions. So first question. Jane Austen was an artist and writer. Give yourself 1 point if you're an artist. Give yourself an extra point if you're a writer. So I'm not an artist in terms of drawing and painting and stuff like that, but I am a writer, or kind of was a writer. So I've said it before on the channel. I used to write, and have self-published a couple of novels and a bunch of short stories a few years ago. So I reckon I can have 2 points for that one. Next question. Austen was born to a large family. She had a total of 7 siblings, 1 sister and 6 brothers. Give yourself a point if you have a 3 or more siblings family. So I have just 1 sister, who is just a little bit younger than me, 3 years younger than me, and that was it. So yeah, so I definitely don't get a point for that one. I'm well below a Jane Austen size family. Next question. Austen did not enjoy her formal education. Give yourself a point if you did not care for school. So again, I'm not going to get a point for this one. So I actually was a bit of a swot, and I quite enjoyed school. I enjoyed learning and I enjoy structure. So school kind of worked for me, to be honest with you. So I'm still on 2 points. Question 4. Dark humour is weaved through Austen's writing. Give yourself a point if you have a grim sense of humour. You must share a dark joke in order to get this point. So I think I probably do have quite a grim sense of humour, and certainly enjoy like horror comedies and things like that, and dark humour and black humour, black comedies. Share a dark joke. So I'm going to tell my favourite joke, which I think is a bit dark, in that it involves the death of a fluffy animal. I'm not sure it's really that dark, but it always makes me laugh. So the joke is, so there's a barman running the bar in his pub, and a rabbit walks in, and the rabbit says to the barman, "Can I have a pint of beer, please, and a cheese and ham toastie?" And the barman says, "Well, you look a bit young, rabbit. Can I see some ID?" And the rabbit shows his ID to prove he's 18. And for Americans out there, in England, you only have to be 18 to drink, and it's an English rabbit. So he shows him his passport to prove he's 18. And the barman goes, "Okay," and he pulls him a pint of beer and gives him his ham and cheese toastie. And the rabbit drinks the beer, eats the toastie, and then wanders off. Next day, the rabbit comes in again. And the barman says, "Oh, hello again, rabbit. How are you?" And the rabbit says, "Very good, thanks. Can I have a pint of beer and a cheese and tomato toastie?" And the barman goes, "Yeah, of course. I know you're over 18. You can definitely have those." So gives the rabbit his order. Rabbit goes off, eats his toastie, drinks his beer, leaves the pub again. The next day, same thing happens again. Rabbit comes in again. This time he says, "Can I have a pint of beer and a tuna mayo toastie?" And the barman goes, "Yeah, of course." Gives him the toastie, gives him the beer. Rabbit's very happy, leaves the pub. The next day, the rabbit comes in, but he's a ghost. And the barman goes, "Crikey, rabbit, are you okay? What happened?" And the rabbit goes, "I died." And the barman goes, "I was worried about you having all that beer. Was it the beer that killed you?" And the rabbit says, "No, mixing my toasties." Sorry, that's a very bad joke, but I do like it. Right, I've lost the questions. Bear with me. Okay, next question. Right, so I get 1 for that, so I've got 3 points now. Next question. This is question 5. Jane broke off 2 engagements and died a spinster. Give yourself a point if you are single. So no points for me. I'm very happily married. I've been married to my wife for, where are we now? For 19 years this year. So about 18 and a half years at the moment. We'll celebrate our 19th wedding anniversary this year. Next question. Question 6. Austen experienced low periods or spells of depression. Give yourself a point if you have struggled with mental health. So I do get a point here. It's not something I've ever talked about on the channel, I don't think. So yeah, I suffered very badly from depression when I was in my early 20s, to the extent that I was actually in hospital for, I think, in total about 6 months. So as I say, it's not something I've talked about before, but I do think it's an important thing to talk about if it comes up, as it has here. I think it's really important that, you know, people like me who have gone through dark times like that and come out the other side, share those experiences, because there are always people going through it. Yeah, so yes, I have suffered from depression, and if anyone out there, anyone watching this is struggling, and they ever need to talk to someone about it, you know, as someone who has gone through it, I am here. So do feel free to, you know, to contact me. You know, there's links to various ways you can contact me in the about section for the video. So I'm here to support people if needed. Next question, question 7. Right, so I'm on 4 points now. Right, so question 7. Jane moved away from her childhood home in her 20s. Give yourself a point if you lived away from your childhood home or region. So yes, so I grew up in Hertfordshire. So if you don't know England very well, if you can imagine, you know, England's that sort of funny shape, a bit like that, I guess. London is here and Hertfordshire is kind of up here, and I now live in Brighton, or near Brighton, which is down here on the south coast. So I'm about 2.5 hours away from where I grew up. So I moved to Brighton for university when I was 19, and I've stayed here ever since. So made a life and started a family down here because I do like to be beside the seaside. Question 8 is, Jane was not vain. Give yourself a point if you have very little interest in vanity. I think I get a point. Yeah, I'm not really vain or interested in vanity or fashion or any of those things, which is a constant source of frustration for my wife. But you know, that's who I am. Right, so I get a point for that. So I'm on 6 points. Next question. Hair was of little concern to Austen. Give yourself a point if you cannot be bothered with your hair. So similarly, yeah, I don't think I paid too much attention to my hair. Although I have to say, One from Plagued by Visions did comment on one of my short videos the other day. So I do a short whenever I finish a book for my 100 book challenge. One commented on a video that I'd put up at the weekend that you can always tell that it's the weekend by the state of my hair. So I do comb my hair in the morning on a weekday when I'm going to be in Teams meetings all day. But I don't much bother the rest of the time. So I think I'll probably get a point for that. So I'm on 7 points now. So final question, question 10. Austen expressed her distaste for hot weather. Give yourself a point if you dislike the heat. So I live in England, so I don't really know what hot weather is, to be honest with you. I mean, we might get a week of decent weather in the summer, but that's about it. I would say when I go on holiday, somewhere warm, I do struggle. You know, if it's above 30 degrees centigrade or even high 20s degrees centigrade, I do start to really struggle. So yeah, I would say I do not like the heat. So yes, so that's the final question. I'm on 8 points out of 10, which seems like quite a high score. What I need to do now is refer back to Shelley's video, because she had the way to interpret your score at the bottom. So let me find that. So 8 or 9 points. In another life, Jane Austen and you could have been siblings or at least good friends. You want to spend time with one another and work to make that happen. I don't know. I think that would be quite interesting. I'm not sure what Jane Austen would make of my my taste in books, certainly, but I'm sure we'd find at least something to talk about, even if it was just tea and not liking hot weather. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate your time. If you're new to the channel, I always forget to say this, but if you're new to the channel and have not subscribed, check out my introduction video, which will give you a bit more info about the channel. And if you like the look of that, then subscribe and you'll get lots more nonsense from me to look at. Thank you very much to Shelley for creating this fantastic tag. I would also say it's definitely worth checking out the version of this tag that one Plagued by Visions did, which is absolutely brilliant. It had me in stitches earlier on when I watched it. And Michael K. Vaughan did quite a good kind of response version in response to Juan's video as well. So yeah, check out both of those as well as Shelley's if you haven't watched them before. But yeah, as always, hope yourself and well, and I will speak to you again soon. Cheerio!